I'm with Nomi. I begged her to walk today. I begged her to walk at the park with me. This is my first day walking since my lung collapsed, but I'm not doing like...
I want to touch a little birdie.
I bet you do. I'm not gonna do like a fast walk or anything like that. Just a little, I think I'm gonna do 10, probably 10 minutes since I have her. I would like to do 15 minutes, but you know, I'm just gonna move around.
Let's go get it.
I feel like my lung overall is better. Overall, I'm still short of breath. You can just tell.
The chickies?
They're birds. They're flying. You can't get that big bird, girl.
I'm not gonna get that big one.
You can't get any of them.
She's gonna take them.
Thinking she can catch birds. Sorry, y'all. I got distracted. She thought she was gonna catch a bird. But anyway, yes. No strength exercises. I have been stretching. I told myself I might try to do like lower body, but like light lower body, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. We're just getting a little exercise today. Because I think I'm starting to be down about everything. I'm usually okay. I'm usually the type that just keeps going, y'all. I'm not gonna lie. But I think this time I just kind of feel like it's just amazing how you're doing something one day, you feel good one day, and then the next day changes your life for a little bit. So anyway, come on, let's get on the sidewalk so you don't get any rocks in your shoe. Okay, I'm in my office. I have some things to do. We're gonna chit chat a little bit just about, I don't know, about life, y'all, because life stay life. And I went to Chicken Salad Chick. I'm in here busting my food down. So what I get from Chicken Salad Chick is I get the classic Carol. I get Lauren's lemon basil. Is that what it's called? And I get Sassy Scotty with a little bacon and the cheese in it. I always say they give you enough crackers. They give you enough crackers, but they don't give you enough crackers. So anyway, I got snacked on that a little bit. I'm gonna take a break just so we can talk. But I'm gonna tell y'all what I'm up here to do. What I got going on in life, because I haven't talked about I need my microphone. Okay, I went to get my microphone, hopefully, and I got my glasses because suddenly I cannot see without them. I can, but I just like the way I see with them on. So anyway, let me tell y'all what I have going on. I just want to show y'all this calendar planner. If you follow me on TikTok and you've been following me on TikTok for a while, then you know that I love these Clever Fox. I had it for a while, scuffed up. I thought it was dirty. I love these Clever Fox planners. This is my third one. I've had two small ones before. I don't think I have them, but I'm gonna just show you what size I had. I think it's downstairs, but I had this small one, right? Oh, sorry. I had this small one, and then I went and got the bigger one. When I say I love this planner, so I've become a planner girl probably over the past maybe 3 years. This is maybe like my third year planning. I do not have it mastered. I think the biggest hiccup for me is that I tend to write in it, and I'm not as good as I should be at coming to look at it every day and say, hey, this is what you say you're going to do for the day. This is what you say you're going to do for the week. I do eventually come up here and check some things off, but I'm not as good with it as I should be. But let me show y'all really quick. I won't talk about this planner too much because this is not a promotion or advertisement. Like, I truly love this Clever Fox There are a lot of parts in it. And I think what I'll do is just kind of show y'all, but I will turn my camera around and show y'all eventually. Um, and so what I'm going to do, I'll show you what it is, or I'll show you what I love about the planner, and then I'll tell you what I'm just working on while I'm up here. So it's a lot of different things, right? In the beginning of the year, you get to write a whole bunch of different stuff. Awareness and self-discovery, daily rituals, what are my core values, what I'm passionate about, what's my mission, my affirmations, like you write all of that in the beginning. Then you have these 2 pages for vision boards. And this year on my vision board, it was very much a selfish vision board. I realized since becoming a mom, I usually fill these spaces with a little bit of what I'm going to do, but what I would like to do as a mom, what I would like to do as a family. So this year I was like, listen, at my big age, it's time for me to really, really get selfish about myself. And again, not in a bad way, Lord. Not in a bad way. I'm just saying I just need to, put some effort into me. So anyway, so that's that. I did that. And then of course it goes into what I want my life to be like. It has a section for 5 years. No, 1 year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years, 20. And as you see, I got to health and fitness, and I did not fill it out because it can be a lot of writing. In the beginning, in January, which I skipped, I don't know why, you write what your first quarter or your first 3-month goals are. Sorry. And so I did that. And then after that, it's calendar. You go fill in your calendar, and then it'll tell you on your calendar. I'm gonna give y'all like a better look at this, but on your calendar at the bottom, you see it has like different things, this month's goals, things that I will do to make this month great. And then every month, which is what I came upstairs to do today, because we're at the end of August, at the end of July, at the end of every month, you write your monthly review. What your biggest wins were, what were the biggest lessons you learned, insights gained. I love this part. What area of your life you feel like you were lacking so that you can fix that. Yes, you can come in. And then what tasks were not accomplished and why. I love that part. So anyway, going back, because I won't go through this outside of calendar, I will tell you that in the every week it has, like where you fill in your Monday through Sunday plans, goals, whatever the case may be. It has at the top. Let me show y'all. Let me get a little closer because I love this thing. As you see, it has some other little areas. You fill this in every week. Your habits. And my habits, I usually write things like reading, walking and exercising. I say skincare, sleeping, maybe one house-related task. That's kind of how I feel mine. And then I check what days I did that. And in the very end, it has a lot of stuff regarding like your budget. Expense tracker, monthly budget. Yes. Thank you. Monthly budget, expense tracker, and little stuff like that. It talks about money in the back. So yes, that's what I come upstairs to do. I already, like I said, completed the calendar, like the things I need to do for August. It has notes in the back, little stuff like that. So I'm up here so that I can talk about my month, how I felt like July went and all that other stuff. And I'm not going to lie, it won't be a lot of writing because I'm definitely trying to enjoy summer. Y'all already know I've had some health issues. On top of health issues, I just wanted to be very much intentional with my time with my girls because the way my brain working and the way I feel about like business and work. Yeah, my youngest is starting kindergarten, so I'm ready to go. We are in the last few weeks of summer break, and I cannot believe it. I believe that we definitely enjoyed our summer. It just went by really fast, and per usual, you think you have all the time in the world and that you can create this massive bucket list and just do everything on that bucket list. But next thing you know, you're at the end of the summer and it's time for everyone to get back to their regular scheduled routines. For me, this will be my first year that all of my girls are in school for pretty much a full day. My 4-year-old will be starting kindergarten, and yes, I am in my feelings about that. I will have my middle girl going into her last year of elementary, and then my oldest will be a high schooler. So I'll be free a little longer than I normally am, but I am a little heartbroken that they're growing on me. I've done all my work from home business. If you've been following me for a while, if you know me, before this break, I was a transaction coordinator. Me and a partner had a transaction coordinator business. That's real estate transaction coordination. Of course, just helping agents that were in our office, and in other offices, help them go from under contract to close. We did all the paperwork and stuff like that. I enjoyed that for a little bit, but it was a partnership, and I felt like I was just ready to kind of expand, and my partner wasn't quite ready, and which is understandable. We are still cool to this day. It was no beef, but I moved on, and I moved on to nothing. No, I'm saying it wasn't nothing. I was just getting myself together. What I'm doing first and what I've been doing. So outside of the transaction coordinator business, I have really at one point in time been managing our short-term rentals. Those were the rentals that we had on Airbnb because we have rentals or Airbnb and furnished finders. Okay, y'all, let's go to the house that I call the Wild House. We've had this house just as long as we've had Little Hickory House. Um, it has been a midterm rental. I think the person that just moved out, they were there for about 6 months. It was just someone who relocated from Atlanta for a job, and he stayed here, like I said, for about 6 months to determine whether he wanted to stay in the area long term or not. So, anyway, he just moved out, and we're just walking through just to see what needs to be done before we move someone else in here. I do believe that our next tenant in this house will be our last tenant because my husband does have plans to possibly tear this house down. We didn't go into it with that idea, but based on where it is in Charlotte, we felt like, hey, maybe we'll tear it down. And I think the plan is to build a couple of townhouses on it. So that's going to be a big project. When we get to that point, I will let you know. Y'all, look, they have washed the siding off these pots and pans. I've never seen this happen. So anyway, yep, this is Little Wild House, or I don't call it Little Wild House. This is Wild House. If this sounds really, if this appears very choppy, just know that my youngest kept coming in here. So again, or where I think I was yes, I have been managing the short-term rentals up until we decided to allow midterm rentals, allowing people to kind of stay several months at a time. In my favorite property, which is Little Hickory House, again, if you've been following me on TikTok, then you kind of know what that house is. But anyway, for Little Hickory House, I had a family member I let stay there for like a year, and then after they left, it sat vacant just for maybe a month or so, and then we let somebody else stay there. They've been there maybe 4 months, and so they're leaving. So let's talk about Little Hickory House really briefly so I can kind of catch y'all up because I talked about this a little bit in my TikTok, maybe even talked about it a little bit last year, but um I kept saying I'll keep y'all posted, and I probably fell completely off with Little Hickory House. I have been working with zoning or communicating with zoning and NC Dot and some other things because as much as I love short-term rentals, I got to the point where I was like, hey, maybe not this house. The thing about Little Hickory House, the house itself is nice. It's in a nice area, but I feel like sometimes, not all the time, it just depends on your house, so on and so forth. I think what's close by dictates, of course, how booked you are. Initially, it started off good. I know sometimes that happens because the platform you're using pushes your listing, but outside of that, it started off really well and then it kind of tapered off. I think, again, a lot of things began to taper off because real estate itself started to taper off. People aren't buying homes as much, interest rates change, and a lot of things change. I feel like that made that listing change. It's also not near a lot, even though it is near something. I'll let you know it's near the Charlotte Motor Speedway. It's not too far from that. It's like, you can drive from this town to over there. So anyway, but I had another idea because, again, once I left the TC business, I had the idea to just do something outside of real estate because, yes, my husband has his real estate team. We have short-term rentals. We do flips. Okay, today I have the girls with me and we are visiting the house that I refer to as Frank's house. It is a flip and it looks so good compared to where this house started. Unfortunately, I do not have a before of this house. It was mainly because we acquired it about a year ago, but unfortunately, they've had a lot happen to this house. Someone stole the HVAC. Someone came and cut the electrical after the electrical work was done. So it's been through a lot, but they finally said, hey, let's wrap this house up. And it looks so good. My husband says it's going to be his last flip. I don't think it's going to be his last flip. I think he's trying to take a little break from it. Of course, because he's trying to work on some other things like building and whatever else he decides to do. But yeah, this is Frank's house, y'all. Again, this house has been through a lot. I think he said he believes they may have like a month left on the work that needs to be done to this house, and then it'll be on the market. So yeah, this is one of the flips that's I say one of it, but to be honest, I think this is the only flip we have left. So yeah, This is Frank's house. And we're currently building or about to build on the land that we own. Okay, let's go by the land. Y'all, we acquired this land. No lie, it's probably been about 7 or 8 years. And it's just been sitting. It's just been sitting. We purchased it and didn't know what to do with it. And all of a sudden, my husband called me and was like, hey, I think we should build on the land that we have out there. So, yep, in the corner, you see the spec home that the builders sent over to us. We wanted to build a 1-story, but there are a few things that's preventing us from doing that. So, it'll be a 2-story. I think we're going for 3-bed, 2-bath. So yeah, I'm excited to see it. So I'll share the progress. So I feel like real estate, I don't want to say we got it down. No, there is some opportunity to grow in all of those businesses that we have. But I just said, hey, I would like another completely different stream of income. So I went back. And when I say I went back with like my foundation. When I was growing up, my mom had her own in-home daycare. That's when I feel like she found her footing in life because, she was an employee and she had 3 children. And I think once she decided to do in-home daycare, she kind of saw some growth. I could tell things in our life changed a little bit. So what I said, because at this time my mom was trying to figure out what she wanted to do, I said, hey, let's turn Little Hickory House into like a daycare, like a whole daycare. So I thought I did everything I needed to do. I reached out to zoning first. They gave me the okay, long as I met certain requirements. I talked to NC Dot. I talked to Cabarrus because it's in Cabarrus County. I talked to the Health Alliance about the water, just to get back to the table with zoning for them to say, oh yeah, by the way, again, you can do that. And even though NC Dot says this is their driveway requirements, our driveway requirements is for it to be a little wider. On top of that, you have to have a landscape buffer of, I think it was about 25 feet wide, whatever it was, around the entire property. The only reason why it was a big deal, let me tell y'all, was 2 things. One, when I had the idea to turn this home into a childcare, it was supposed to be a very boutique-ish like childcare, not a major center because it's in a smaller house. And I just wanted it to have this more personal feel to it. So I'm like, hey, this idea for me was small to make it look good, do what I needed to do to meet the requirements of the state and all that other stuff, but not to necessarily turn this into like a whole commercial building because on top of the buffer, they were asking for a lot of little things. I felt like personally, I didn't think it was the route that I wanted to take. I think it was starting to be a bigger project than I really wanted it to be. And so the last piece of information that the county left me with was, hey, because it is in this town, maybe you can reach out to the town to see if you can have this property annexed. And but that would still be a process. So that was about 4 months ago, and I want to say I moved on, but I did. Was I crushed? Yes, because this is something I've been working on for like a year. I thought when these people would leave the property, I was ready to flip it and gut it and whatever I needed to do. But here I am back to what I'm going to do with this particular home. Do I sell it and just take my money and invest in something else? Or do I put it back as a midterm rental? And finally, we are at Little Hickory House. Y'all, I came to walk the property. The people that have been here for the past, 4 or 5 months, finally moved out, and I came to see what I needed to do. Again, it's been through, typical wear and tear. I'm just checking out everything, just trying to figure out, what to do if I want to put the fireplace or the fire pit back. Sorry. Again, just walking through, looking at things like the blinds that need to be replaced. I think overall for the inside of the space, I'm going to refresh it and maybe get rid of some furniture, replace furniture, go a different route when it comes to the decor. Nothing major though, just a few small touches. I don't want to do anything major because, as I told you, I'm just really trying to figure out what I want to do with this property long term. But in the meantime, I feel like I'm just going to put somebody else in here for a couple of months. I think the biggest thing for me right now is just to see if I could get it annexed into the town and go from there. So aside from the indoor work, I definitely have to get the outside together. My husband called the handy guy to come and pressure wash this because this looks horrible. He also called the roofing guy, and I just told him we really need to take care of the landscape again because I'm not sure. We had bushes and flowers and plants growing. I'm not sure what happened over here, but it's okay. I'm going to take a month to get it together. We purchased this lot next door and we need to clear it, but we found out they combined the parcels and we can't build or put anything else on this lot. So, yeah, I just think I just need to figure out. I have a lot of ideas of what's next and how to get it moving, but not as quick as I want it to. So that's where I am. So at this point, you guys will still be seeing a lot of real estate from me until I figure out the next step. Lately, I realized we're building more than one thing. We're building new opportunities, but we're also rebuilding old opportunities. And as for myself personally, I'm rebuilding Tia. I've shared with you guys before that, I have dedicated a lot of my time, especially over the last maybe 10 years, to being a mommy. I've dedicated my time to being a wife. I've sprinkled a little bit of stuff in there for myself, but I'm now on a mission to rebuild who I was before being a mommy, before being a wife. And then there are all the projects that teach us. So maybe this chapter isn't really about real estate at all. Maybe it's just about building a future. I'll see y'all next chapter.